All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here, and we're back with more Cowboy Bebop, the new Netflix live action version of the original anime. And we're talking about Session 5 today, Darkside Tango, that is also, and I've kind of forgotten to do this. I've been meaning to talk about like the episodes that they're kind of based on, and you get caught up in doing things. But this episode is kind of off of Dog Serenade, where Jet revisits his past, where we get to find out like the events that caused him to lose his arm, and his time on the ISSP with his partner, and this Wade Williams from Prison Break, and many other many other roles. Like that guy is all over the place. So I just each episode. And before we get started, if you're liking what we're doing here, please don't forget to hit the like button, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel. Helps me with my motivation to make more content. Seeing the channel grow a little bit at a time really helps, and I appreciate everybody who does. And speaking of which, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the conversation. Returning subscribers and people who just want to come and visit, whatever, welcome back as well. So yeah, we got to get into this. Every episode, I just get so transfixed. Just like when I'm into watching the show, the original show. And even though I've seen those episodes multiple times, I still get lost in them. Not like when you're watching something for the first time, like this. Even though this is a version of something that's been done before, the way that they adapt it, I still get sucked in because I just love the way that they're doing all this. It's so just, it reminds me of like Sin City, the style of it, but also just, it's a real breath of fresh this year to watch this, because there's just been, it's been not that great of a year. In fact, 2020 and 2021, despite there being some really interesting things to talk about, things that I always talk about on my channel, like last year at this time, I think we were getting ready to start talking about The Expanse, and this year we had Handmaid's Tale and Mayor of Easttown. There's a bunch of stuff to talk about, but like nothing that really gets me really excited and happy every time I talk about it. And this is just really nice to be able to talk about something that makes me happy. That really makes me happy, because I mean, when I talk about Handmaid's Tale, I ain't happy. I'm not overjoyed talking about it. It's less entertaining and more I don't know if educational is right, but like, we like to watch dramas. But every once in a while you need something like this, a good palate cleanser. And to the people out there that I haven't watched reviews. I haven't watched other people's takes on this, but I've seen a lot of thumbnails. And again, this fake rage woke, people just accusing everything of being woke and SJW and all this stuff. It's such a, if somebody is trying to force some agenda down my throat, I know when that's happening. An example of that would be that I could sense it in Why the Last Man. I was really trying to enjoy that show, but there was some stuff in that just felt like really like somebody was trying to convince me of something that I already knew. That's not what's happening here. That is not what's happening here. And if everybody just needs to have everything approved by them before a show gets made, how are you ever going to enjoy anything? Like, life is too short. There's a million different shows to watch. I mean, literally, there are so many channels, so many streaming services. We are drowning in content. That wherever you are in your life, whatever you think, whatever your leanings are towards, there's something for you that you're going to like. But we have all these people that just, if the thing that they want isn't 100% what they see in their mind, then it's garbage, it's trash, it's woke trash. Oh, a girl wrote this, it's garbage. Move on, guys and gals. Move on, everybody that can't, just decides to plant their flag of hate and things. It's not useful. It's not helpful. It doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't do anything for anybody else. So, and I refuse to watch that stuff. I see those thumbnails and I just go, this is just this world. This world, we only have one life. Do you really want to waste precious seconds of your life, you know, complaining about a television show or a movie? Anyway. So anyway, yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know what show they're watching. I really don't know what show they're watching, but this show, because this show is amazing, and in this show, this episode, it's just a lot of fun. We get the full noir treatment with the Jet story, tracking down this Uday guy. Uday texts him that is the cause of surrounding. He's at the heart of the case that got his arm blown up. He got blown up too, and then you got Spike and Faye in Ein on the ship trying to work together to pick a bounty. And then we have our C story, which is Vicious, Julia, and Mao having their meeting. And that, because this the C story in this is just a little another bite of what's going on. To me, the most interesting aspect of this is Julia. Because everything, it just, again, how much of this are going to take from the anime? We know that Julia is the girl from Fearless's Spike's past. He was partners with Vicious. Things went wrong between all of them, and they all thought that Fearless was dead, aka Spike. And Julia, again, just feels like she's making very quiet moves. She's playing the damsel. She's playing the wife. She's got Vicious wrapped around her finger, and I feel like she is just carefully concocting things to make sure that they go her way. When they have this meeting with Mao, he and her can't really come to any good terms. And when it's all basically blown up, Julia steps forward and sings like she was asked to do. And it's like, why do that? Why would she really care about how this all goes down? Like, if Vicious can't get this done, he'll figure out another way. And so when she sings, to me, it's just saying she's making sure that this all goes down. She's making sure that she ends up on top, or at least in some form anyway, making out all right with this whole thing. And even they kind of almost feel like foreshadowing it, because when they talk about who's going to take over once you go after the elders, right? The camera pans, just cuts right over to Julia standing there, and it's like they're basically telegraphing to the audience that Julia is the one who's going to end up on top after everything else. She's manipulating this whole situation. That is, she finds out, though, at the very end of this episode, when they're talking about who took out Mao's person, Gunther, and she realizes that it's Fearless that killed him, and that makes her drop her drink. And the dropping of the drink kind of makes me think of the image of the fallen rose into the water. So she's, how does this change things for Julia? Now that she knows that Fearless is alive, how's this going to play out in the rest of it? Because I am curious, because it doesn't have to play out the same way it all does in the anime, but probably pretty close to it. So then you have the B story, which is Spike and Faye and Ein on the ship, where this is where our comedy comes in. This is just great. I love, again, the banter. I'm a big, huge, I'll prove it. I'm a huge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. I went out and got my own official, this is an official badge. Like, it came in a box with the paperwork and everything. This is an official Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. badge. And one of the reasons I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is because of the witty banter that is in every episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So every bit of dialogue back and forth that these characters have with each other is just freaking gold. I love John Cho's dry timing mixed with Daniela Pineda's just spunkiness and just she's in her own world. Throughout this episode, she talks about things that she's made up that aren't like what other people do. So like when they talk rock, paper, scissors, she's saying ninja bear hunter. Or what was the other one she said? Foot cockroach atomic bomb. When it comes to like, instead of rock, paper, scissors, she comes up with these new things that she's done. And I think it's a lot of that comes from her being on her own. Like the whole shower, bath, shower thing, which, even I'm tempted to try the shower bath shower thing, but I think it's just really really funny how she's just in her own headspace and how slowly but surely I was waiting for a moment of kind of cynical sarcasm maybe from Spike, but instead it really is them bonding. They really do start to bond, and it's mostly him listening to her for a change, like really taking some cues from her, letting her tell him, some things that you could learn. Once she tells him about and proves to him that she took out this very high-profile bounty in the Tango flashback, which is also cool. Again, all the different things that they do on this show, it's so freaking enjoyable to watch and fun. And seriously, when you have long days at work like I do, where you work with the public, and it's just misery on parade, coming home to this is just great. So when she shows her that, when she shows him the proof and everything, and we get the backstory, and he starts trying the shower, and he wants to know more about like the loofahs and everything, and her dancing with Ein, and Ein watching them back and forth as they argue and try to decide things, and we get more big shot hunters in this, which is in the background, just really funny and entertaining. Just like again, like the Mandalorian is live action animation, this is just it gives me that same feel, just in a different universe, and I'm just so here for it. I love it so much. I am being objective too, because if this sucked, I'd tell you, all right. If this sucked, I would be very very honest. But I know I blasted out those first 4 reviews, but now I'm starting to take my time. Now I want to savor these episodes, because for me, I very rarely binge. Because to me, you just end up feeling hollow, and you're waiting for the next thing, like a junkie looking for a fix. And so I'm gonna savor this, because hey, this show, if it comes back, it better come back. We're not gonna see it for like a year probably, depending. Right? So I'm not going to just quickly knock out the next one. So there'll probably be one a day. Right? So get ready for that, I guess. So anyway, in the main A story, we have Jet. And we get to see the background of him and Wade Williams, his partner, going on a case to find this guy, Uday, and talking about dirty cops. And I love the way it's filmed. It makes me think of Hartigan, with the Bruce Willis segments in Sin City with him and Michael Madsen. And if you know where I'm going with this, like the two partners, that the heavy crime syndicate that they're fighting against, and just Jet being set up, getting blasted to pieces, just again, and this is how he loses his arm. And when he finds out that Uday Taxum is like on the run and close by, he just goes right back into cop mode, takes off his like usual outfit that he wears, puts on his old cop stuff, gets into cop mode, goes to see his old partner to say we're gonna find this guy once and for all. We're gonna find out who did this. And Wade Williams, who is no slouch when it comes to playing heavies and thugs and guys that you can't trust, is the perfect choice for this. Although, I mean, it's like on an episode of Law and Order when you just know like the most famous person on the show is usually the killer, that kind of thing. like if in an episode, let's say where Bob Saget walks in and they think he's the suspect, yeah, he probably did it, because I don't know why I picked Bob Saget, but you know what I'm saying. So it's pretty clear and again kind of telegraphed, but again I'm just so entertained in how they execute all of this that I don't care that I know what's coming. I mean, I also saw the anime, but there was a chance again that they wouldn't go along with it. You know, they might try to subvert my expectations, but really what they do here is they just kind of change small details to get to the same place, which I'm fine with. I'm happy with. I want to see the way things are. You know, but even that episode that it's based off of, the Black Dog Serenade, right? That's not the completely the way anything plays out in that episode. That episode is a lot different from this, other than the key, the key big hits. Because they're back into it, back and forth. They're like old partners again, reminiscing, talking about the old days. But like they say, you can't really go home again. And when they finally do track down Udo, and before he can even say who is the bad cop, which Jet is trying to think it's Chalmers, the guy who took his wife, he's killed by his partner. And just like in the anime, it's like you did this the whole time, except in this case, Jet never has to go for a gun. And his partner shoots him but hits the arm, and then Jet shoots him and the cops show up, and he just killed the one man who could clear his name, and that whole thing about you're the most unlucky guy I know. And that's kind of the whole pattern for the crew of the Cowboy Bebop, right? Of the Bebop is that they mess things up for themselves all the time, whether it's doing the right thing. A lot of times it's doing the right thing despite what they really want, why they want to get paid, but you can't really change who you are and your nature. And so, but this is interesting because, Jet is the kind of guy that he talked about, like, Spike asked him if he would kill, the guy who did him like that. And he's like, no. But then we find out, well, maybe things are not as black and white for Jet as even he thinks. But Spike wasn't there to witness this, and who knows if Jet will ever tell what happened in this episode to Spike or Faye. So just another fantastic episode, you guys. I love talking about it. I'm actually going to be sad when I have to take a break from talking about this for a year. And it better come back. It better come back, because I already had the one thing spoiled at the end for the who's going to be. Everybody's been waiting for this character to show up, and now I'm excited too. So I want to see how that all plays out. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. We'll be back with more stuff, and we'll see you next time. See you later, Space Cowboys and Cowgirls.